chosen ones, empaths. I'm no doctor, right? So I don't want to go around labeling people with PTSD. But when my dealings with the narcissist, after dealing with the narcissist, there was a time that I thought I suffered with post-traumatic stress disorder. I didn't get any diagnosis from a doctor or anything like that. But I can tell you that after dealing with them, they leave you with such rumination and the constant thoughts about them. It really takes over your mind and soul. Like, it really takes over your mind and soul. And it can be some of the toughest times to get through after dealing with a narcissist. And upon researching, they say that PTSD is having flashbacks or nightmares, fear, anger, being disconnected from other people, having distressing thoughts. All of this seems like, I'm not saying that we do have full-blown PTSD, because I believe there's some criteria, like you have to have it for a certain amount of time, you have to be displaying one or more symptoms, stuff like that, right? But honestly speaking, man, after dealing with a narcissist, the rumination, the constant thoughts, it drags you down. It really drags you down. And after some time away from the narcissist, I believe it's the trauma bond that really holds us and stays stuck to us. It's the trauma bond that I believe holds us in that place. And you may have heard in my other videos, I believe that the trauma bond is soul ties. I believe because, especially romantically involved, it may be different with friends. You can have soul ties with people you're not intimate with, but I believe that it makes it a lot stronger and a lot more potent if you've been intimately involved with them. And it's the constant reflection of the good times, you know, like those good times, you know, I've learned now, like, they're so far from my mind. Even the good times, I look at them as bad times now, and it's helped me deal with it, you know, because they're only showing us one thing. They're showing us one face. They mirrored us, you know. These good times were a mirror of our reflection. They were a mirror of our own light. They wasn't what the narcissist was about, you know. They were mirroring us. And at the time, they knew they were mirroring us. And they knew they were manipulating us to get what they want. And a lot of what they wanted, a lot of these lot of sexual maniacs, a lot of what they wanted was to be intimate. Because they know once they get through that gateway, right? Once they get through that gateway of intimacy, they've got control. They have real spiritual control over you. They can play hot and cold. They can make you be dependent upon the intimacy and the connection. But going back to the post-traumatic stress disorder, feel free to put in the comment section, especially if it's fresh for you guys. Like, when it was fresh for me, I could not shake it. I could not get it out of my head. I could not shake it. It was so painful going through that and seeing the change, seeing someone that you loved change into such another creature. Like, it's beyond belief. It really causes some pain. And I know that as empaths, we deeply get connected with people. We really connect with people. We really respect people. We trust people. We openly heartedly trust them. And when we see that other face, it can be really scary and really fearful. And that's why when they say that part of post-traumatic stress disorder is fear, having flashbacks, flashbacks could be the rumination that we're suffering from. What are we having flashbacks? We're ruminating constantly about the narcissist. Now, what I want you to understand is whether a doctor would diagnose you with PTSD is beyond the point. there's not a lot of help out there for us survivors of narcissistic abuse. There's not a lot of help out there. And a lot of counselors, if you go to a counseling session, a lot of them really don't understand what it's like dealing with it. And that's why we're connecting with fellow like-minded individuals who have been through abuse, and we find some comfort in that, don't we? So don't ever feel bad if you, like, I've seen in comments before, it's like, you want to stop thinking about the narcissist, stop watching narcissistic videos then. Like, okay, I get your point, right? But there's a lot of trauma we have to deal with. There's a lot of unanswered questions that we're dealing with inside. So I get the point of the comment. Don't get me wrong. If you want to stop thinking about the narcissist, stop thinking about, stop watching narcissistic content. But the difference is when you're watching narcissistic content, like my channel, I don't know about other channels, but when you're watching my channel, you may get a comfort from it. And you will get comfort from other channels too. I just believe that some of the channels I've come across, they beat around the bush a lot, and they get distracted from the point. And they hold the narcissist in this light like they're infallible, and they can't feel no pain and stuff. That's the kind of way I feel that not all channels, there's some good channels out there. I'm not knocking other channels. I'm just saying that we get a comfort from, whether it's my channel or our channel, I should say, our channel or other channels, we get a comfort from it. So it's not like we're thinking about the narcissist in the same way. When we're left alone with our thoughts, if we hadn't watched no videos and we hadn't had no answers to our questions, and we're left alone with the thoughts of the narcissist, it can be really painful. And to just come out of the relationship, not seek any help or advice or therapy, because this is like therapy, you know, not to seek no therapy, it leaves you in pain. Like one of the points of the PTSD was you feel disconnected from other people. I felt so disconnected. I didn't want to be around anyone. Like I was around people. The only reason I wanted to be around people was potential relationships I got involved in, but that was just to help me deal with my pain, and that was a wrong path that I was taking. But you feel disconnected. You feel like a shell of yourself. And what I believe is happening is you're getting stripped down to the bare person that you are, to basically be ready to grow again and ready to rise. You know, for those of you still fresh, you've got all of these good times ahead. You've got all of these good times ahead. I promise you're going to smile again. You're going to feel all right again. You're going to feel light again. You know, you won't feel so heavy. You won't feel like you're shouldering the burden of the world on your back. You're going to feel lighter. But I'm not trying to trigger anyone here or make them think they have. This is what I'm saying. I'm not a doctor. So I'm not trying to say you do have PTSD, but we have similar symptoms of that. And there's not a lot of help for survivors of narcissistic abuse, because you go out there, you tell someone, all right, look, this has happened, you try and explain it, and they say, oh, it's a breakup, go on, get back out there, put your glad rags on and get back out there, meet someone new, you'll feel better. And it just don't work. It just don't, for me, it didn't work, you know, like it didn't work. I was meeting these new people, all I had was a narcissist on my head. It was crazy. Like, it's really painful. Like they really scar our minds, scar our hearts. It's unbelievable. But you've got to understand that you've been through a really, really traumatic experience. You have been through a really traumatic experience, and you need to give your time, you need to give your body time and your mind time to adjust to these new conditions you're living in. You may be alone. You're going to have to deal with the bouts of loneliness and stuff like that. And you're going to miss the narcissist, and you're going to miss your abuser. But I've mentioned this before about Stockholm Syndrome. I think it was a bank robbery in Stockholm, Sweden. And I don't know, people say this doesn't exist anymore, or it's not proven in psychology, but I get the logics of it. Maybe we're not this extreme, but the people that were kidnapped or held hostage in the bank, I think it was a bank, maybe I'm wrong, quote me if I'm wrong, they developed intimate feelings and fell in love with their captors. So after they were separated from their captors, they fell in love with their captors. And this is what we start to do, tendencies of this, we start to do in the narcissistic relationship. We're being abused so badly by the narcissist. Small gestures of goodwill, small gestures of kindness, we start to take in inconsiderate portions, like in not the right proportion. We take it in the wrong proportion. Like they're doing a small gesture of goodwill or a small gesture of kindness, and we take that as something really brilliant and good, when really they're nothing but scum, you see. And we start to empathize with our abuser, and it's chaotic. What they do to our minds is chaotic. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. It will take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. But what they do with our minds is chaotic. And after dealing with a narcissist, this is why, for those of you that are still involved with them, or they're still involved in your life to some degree, it can be very painful as well. It can be very painful as well. The constant calls, the constant checking up on you. It can be really hard to come unstuck and try and get free again from the narcissist. It can be really hard for you guys. But if you can, try and get out as quick as possible, and quietly as well. Try and get out quietly. Seek refuge in a close friend or family, not a flying monkey, someone you can deeply depend on, and try and explain your situation. Because these narcissists, when they lose you, they go chaotic, you know, they go crazy as well. But a lot of us have been through the discard where the narcissist has kind of left us, alienated us, cast us aside, tossed us aside like we're nothing. It's very painful going through that experience. And I won't really touch on it in these videos, but we know how they go with new suppliers, then they miss us, they want us back, they hoover. I've gone into this in my other videos, but this is more about the pain. The pain you go through, it can take years to recover. And I'm not trying to scare you here, but it can take, like, I recovered, but I still wasn't myself. And it was only more or less, not fairly recently, but maybe a year or two back, about a year and a half back, a friend of mine that I hadn't seen for a while said, "This is how you were when you were younger." And I really took that to my heart, because it basically, not a lot of you, some of you, I keep messing up my words today. Some of you think when I say you become yourself again, that's a bad thing. You become yourself again. You have that innocence about you again. You become pure again, like you're pure again, but you have a new ability about you where you're able to see red flags. You're able to see toxicity. You know, you're able to see through it. Okay? But you become yourself again, and it is a walk. It is a walk that you need to take. You will take on the healing journey, and you will get there. I promise you, you will get there. But if you need to keep the distractions from the narcissist away, and understand, I don't want you ever thinking of the good times. You need to break those from your mind. There were no good times in the relationship. They were manipulating you. They were mirroring you. They were doing everything in their capacity to get their way and to get what they want. That's what they were doing. So we need to have boundaries. We need to have the way that we like things to roll in our life, and make sure we keep these boundaries up, to prevent it happening again in the future, you know. But you will deal with the flashbacks. So many of us have had dreams, nightmares, and there is an anger. There's a deep-rooted anger left in us about the pain that we went through. As I said, I'm not trying to say you've got PTSD, but I felt like I had PTSD. When I heard the symptoms of PTSD and that, and I was sitting there like very soon after the relationship, I thought, I am suffering from this. How do I get help for this? I didn't go to the doctors. I didn't reach out to the doctors. And I think even if I did, they would have said, no, you don't have it. They wouldn't have believed me. Like, people, even your close friends, when you tell them you're in pain, they don't understand it. When they see you not moving on for a long time, they don't understand it. They can't. But like, we literally lose ourselves from these people. They drain us of everything. We've been drained so much by these people. We're left scarred afterwards. We're literally left scarred from these narcissists. And these scars, you know, a scar is a thicker skin. Over time, you'll understand, like, when a scar's fresh, it's bloody, it's sore, it's got stitches, you know, it might have stitches. But over time, that scar thickens and it becomes like your skin again, and it becomes like a thicker skin. And that's what we all start to develop. We develop a tougher and thicker skin for us to withstand torment. Not withstand torment from the narcissist, but we're able to withstand the pressures of life that is thrown towards us in life. We are definitely able to withstand it a lot more. But the after effects is crazy. It's crazy when I think about it. I don't know how I got through it. It's only by the grace of God. God's going to help you too. He's going to guide you too through this. But the pain of dealing with the aftermath is unreal. And my heart goes out to you, and you're not alone. Remember, so many have walked your shoes before you've walked your shoes. And you can learn from these people. Don't listen to these fakes and snakes and pretenders and people who don't understand. Don't listen to them. Listen to people who have been through it. You are suffering. There's nothing wrong with that. You're suffering. You're going through a very, very traumatic time. And you need time to heal. You need time to heal. You need time to focus. You need to focus on your journey. And if you do all of this correctly, if you take the healing journey correctly, and you don't rush into new relationships, you don't get distracted, you don't abuse drugs, or alcohol, and you try and stay clean and sober, and you don't try and get rid of the darkness by a bottle or something like that. I know people like to have a glass of wine after work. I'm not saying that, but I'm on about abusing substances or abusing alcohol. There's a difference between moderately taking something and abusing it. There's a big difference. Just try and focus on this healing journey and try and detach from this trauma bond. You've got to realize that you've got spiritual connections to these narcissists through being intimate with them. If you not only if you're intimate with them, you can have it through friendships as well. You can have spiritual soul ties, but it's more stronger if you've been intimately involved. But just remember, like, do some research. Like, you could be suffering from PTSD. Medications can help. I'm not I believe that the pharmaceutical industry are the biggest drug dealers in the world, right? But sometimes we need medication. Sometimes we need things that help. And if you can sometimes get a medication that helps or takes the edge off something, you know, you have been through a traumatic experience. Your mind is scarred. And I'm not telling you to go out there and get some drugs from the chemist or from the doctor or whatever. But I'm saying if you need to,
Do what you think's best for you, you know. Do what you think's best for you, because maybe a little aid in helping you will help, you know, a little aid. I'm not telling you to take antidepressants or something like this. I'm just saying there might be something that helps with anxiety or stuff like this. Like they have beta blockers that help with anxiety. It lowers your heart rate and it stops anxiety. There's different forms of, you can speak to your doctor, speak to someone and tell them, look, I've been through a traumatic experience. You may just look at it as a breakup, but I was abused. I was put through it. It was a narcissist. You can tell him, like, hopefully you got a good connection with your doctor. And they may, you know, even a lot of you lot find therapy in gym, in walking, in jogging, painting. There's other outlets too, like natural outlets as well. But sometimes it can become too much. And when you're alone facing this condition, it can be very scary. So just try and do what's best for you. Each of us are different, right? What's best for someone might not be best for someone else. Like someone might not be good with medication, but someone else will. Someone might not be good with painting. Like the painting might not help them, but painting might help someone else. Or art might help someone else. Or singing might help one person, singing might not help the other. Like, just find your vice. Find something that helps you get rid of this pain, because you've got some real inner work to do. Real inner work. And I've been on this journey of facing this pain, and I've got rid of my pain now from the narcissist. I've got rid of my pain from, it took years. I'll be honest with you people, it took years. I was a slow healer or something, but it took me years. And it wasn't just the ex-narcissist, it was trauma from my childhood, psychopaths and narcissists I was involved with. And it makes me like slightly paranoid now about people I deal with in my life. Like I start to get, that's my downfall now. Like I start to see other people as toxic, and they might not be toxic. Like that's just it's like my lenses are scarred now, where I see toxicity in people, and I get, you know, I really like my own time. I really like to be alone. And I know that's a symptom of PTSD, where it says that you don't have connections with other people. I do have connections. I love the world. I love everyone. I've got like good people. I love people. I care for people. I've got empathy for people. But sometimes when people are too involved in my life, it stresses me out. You know, it really stresses me out. And I like to just focus on my own, especially with this YouTube journey and other things I'm doing in life. I find myself too preoccupied with other things to have too much time for people this day and age, you know. Not you guys, but just so-called friends and stuff like this. I see toxicity in friendships and stuff like that. Maybe it's the trauma from my past or whatnot, but I see toxicity in people. But just please, people, just seek advice. Counseling can help. If the counsel is good and you have a one-to-one with someone, or even if you booked a one-to-one with me, well, I'm not currently got the schedule up because I had an injury recently, and I'm gonna get back to doing the one-to-ones. But and I'm not trying to plug my one-to-ones here. I'm just saying that sometimes talking it through with someone can help, but you need to talk through it with someone who's got an understanding of narcissistic abuse. If you talk to someone who's never been through narcissistic abuse, it's just going to fall on deaf ears. It's not going to work. But there's various outlets that you can do, and you're not alone with this. So just understand that you're dealing with serious, harsh repercussions of this narcissist. And they know what they've done to you. I should have touched on this earlier. They know what they've done to you. They know what they've done. Right? And if they've run out on you, discarded you or whatever, they're waiting for you to just be crying and begging for them back. And I know you might have begged for them back at one point, but they're waiting until you beg for them back again. And we're not going to do that anymore, because we're not beggars. We're not going to beg. And I don't mean beggar like begging for money. I'm trying to say we're not begging for someone's love. Yeah? None of us need to beg for someone's love, beg for someone's attention, admiration. We don't need to beg for that. You know, it's meant to have reciprocation and reciprocity. We don't need to beg for someone's care and love. You know, and they're not even capable of love that we need in our lives anyway. They're not even capable of that. But the rumination as I always say, the rumination will turn into more of a reflection over time. You'll ruminate about them less. And even these videos, like I mentioned about how people say, stop watching narcissist videos. These videos and videos alike from other channels, they give you the answers, or they give you a comfort that the narcissist didn't give you. The reason why you're watching videos is because you're looking for a comfort that the narcissist didn't give you. And sometimes a video can actually help you more than a so-called psychologist or therapist, because they have no experience with narcissistic abuse. They might have experience with dealing with narcissists, but they haven't been abused by one. So they don't have the experience to deal with your pain. You know, I get sick of it, you know. People think it's a real joke. They don't understand that it's a real problem in this world. And there's not a lot of places that we can go. But, you know, we've all got we can all got the power of communication, you know. Even if you're deaf or you're blind or whatnot, you got communication. You might have certain senses that are severed or not, you don't have, but you can still communicate through braille, or you can communicate through your speech if you're blind, or if you're hard of hearing or deaf, you can communicate through sign language. There's still possibilities. The problem is the same way that a deaf person might have a rubbish translator. It's the same with us, you know. The person that we tell our information to, they may not reciprocate what we're saying. They may not take it on board properly. You know, they don't take it seriously. The doctor might not take it seriously. If the doctor's not taking it seriously, find a new doctor. You know, I didn't get any therapy. I didn't get any therapy. I didn't do no one-to-ones. I didn't get no help from doctors. Nothing. I dealt with it alone. But sometimes when I've listened to my videos back, I thought, you know what, if I'm not being big-headed or anything, but I thought, you know what, if I listen to someone like myself back when I was going through this, because I empathize from an outside perspective. It's not like I come out my body, but I come outside and I imagine someone listening to the words, you know. I don't always listen to my videos back, but I used to when I first started. And if I had someone there, even if I booked a one-to-one, like, it would have really helped me, you know. But there's so many people that are just after your money. There's so many people that are just there to take money, or just there to rip you off. You know, it prevents people that really need help, because of this world that we live in. It prevents people that really need help from reaching out and trying to get the help they need. But if you can find a genuine person, we've got the discernment now. We can look for genuine people. We can tell if a doctor is genuine. We can tell if the person that we're going to do a one-to-one with is genuine. We can tell, you know. We can tell about people. We can tell even when we watch videos on YouTube, you can tell if someone's genuine. Some of you might not agree with me, but you can tell if someone's genuine. You can just hear it in the video. You can tell if someone's got a real care. And I hope that you lot understand that I have a real care for you lot. You know, I really do care, and I really hope and wish what's best for you. And I feel your pain because I've been there. I feel your pain from experience because I've been there. Some of you have been through worse situations than I have, you know, traumatic. Like, you know, I'm not saying I went through the worst situation in the world, but I felt alone. I went through pain. I felt like I had PTSD at one point, like, you know. And we're not competing here. Narcissistic abuse, whether it's a lesser narcissist or a greater narcissist or a spiritual narcissist, they're all narcissists, man. They're all doing the same. I was gonna swear, but they're all doing the same stuff. They're all doing the same stuff, man, trying to traumatize us and leave us scarred. And this is the thing. They know they've left us scarred. They've gone off into the distance now with a new supply, whatever like that, and they're not stopping. They're still trying to destroy us now from afar with their new supply and their social media. Please, people, don't look at their social media. Tip of advice before I go. Don't look at their social media. Try cut contact with them and try and focus on your healing journey. Now, with the healing journey, focus on yourself, your priority, your number one. Put all of this love that you wanted to put inside someone else into yourself. Start feeling good again. Start dressing well again. You know, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have the most best name brand stuff, but even the stuff you got, make it look good. Iron it. Make yourself feel nice. Jump in the shower. Feel fresh. Things like this. It will help you feel better. Even if you're just walking to the shop. Some days that's only what I do. I just walk to the shop, you know. But I try and feel good. I try and feel good about myself. When I'm on my journeys or whatever I'm doing. I might just be going to get some groceries. But, you know, you're going to get some groceries. Feel good about yourself, you know. So just keep trying, people, and you will get there. I promise you. It's not dark clouds forever, man. You'll see the sunshine through the hurricane. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. If you would like a one-to-one session with me, you can find the details in the description box. And if you would like to donate to the channel, you can also find the details in the description box. So anyway, and I've also got the other channel, the spiritual channel. If you'd like to check that out, the videos in the description box. So anyway, people, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.